Okay, so for this next example, we're going to look at problem 7 in 5.2. So let's see, I'll write it down for you guys. 5.2, problem set 5.2, number 7, here, and it's on page 138. So the question is, how many raloxifene HCl tablets need to be given so that the patient gets a dose of 0.06 grams. So once again, I'm going to write down all my knowns and my unknowns. So my unknown is how many tablets. So X for unknown, tablets. The dose is 0.06 grams. And then the other unknowns I get from reading the label, or the other knowns I get from reading the label. The label in this case is right at the top of the page. Raloxifene, I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. Raloxifene HCI 60 milligram tablets. So in this case, we have 60 milligrams per tablet, so per one tablet. So that's our knowns and our unknowns. So now we're going to look at our formula, and it's actually going to be the same formula as before. Amount of drug in stock divided by per volume or weight is equal to amount of drug prescribed divided by volume or weight needed. So amount of drug in stock. What we have in stock is 60 milligrams per tablet. So 60 milligrams per one tab. And that's going to equal, amount prescribed is 0.06 grams divided by my unknown, how many X tabs. Now here's where I run into an issue that I warned you about in the last video. Our units don't match up. I have milligrams and grams. So I have to switch. I have to convert one to the other. And this is where it's useful to always write down your units. So here, I don't have length units, and if I go ahead and do my cross multiplication now, so I'll have the X comes up here, the 1 goes over here, the 60 goes down here, so I have X is equal to 0.06 grams divided by 60 milligrams times one tablet. Whereas before I had milligrams divided by milligrams, so that just became a pure number, and my answer was number of tablets. Well, last case it was milliliters. In this case, I can see my units aren't going to just vanish because I've got grams over milligrams. So I need to do a conversion. Now we know that 1 gram is equal to 1,000 milligrams. And for the, for the sake of doing a conversion, one of the ways I can do that, I can either just replace with grams or milligrams using this formula, but what I like to do is actually do my conversion in line. So what I want is to convert grams to milligrams. So what I'm going to do that, I'm going to do cross multiplication with this. And then move this 1 over here. So I end up with 1. Essentially what I'm going to do is divide both sides by 1 gram. So I know 1 gram is equal to 100 milligrams. Therefore, 1 gram over 1 gram is equal to 1,000 milligrams over 1 gram. Well, 1 gram over 1 gram. Now we have this, the grams cross out because we can do this with the units too, and we're left with a unitless number, or a pure number of just 1. So 1 is equal to 1,000 milligrams over 1 gram. And one of the nice things about the multiplication is I can multiply anything by 1 and it maintains the same value. So I'm going to take advantage of that here. I'm going to rewrite this. I have X is equal to 0.06 grams divide by 60 milligrams. And I'm just going to put this in brackets to really be clear about what we're doing. I'm going to put in my conversion factor here, which is 1,000 milligrams divide by 1 gram, and then times 1 tablet. So now this time you can see I've got, I'll use green here, I got my grams cross out with my grams, and then I'll use purple here, and my milligrams cross out with my milligrams. So I end up just with a pure number here, and my answer is then in terms of tablets. Just like before, milligrams crossed out with milligrams, and my answer was in terms of milliliters. And so the units do work out this time. And now you can use a calculator, or an easy way to multiply by 1,000 is to move the decimal 3 places. So 1, 2, 3, so there's going to be a 0, so I'll have 60 over 60, which is equal to 1. So x is just going to equal 1 tablet. If we had done the conversion right at the start, then that would have been obvious. But I wanted to go through this whole process. So if I had have noticed at the start that 0.06 grams is equal to 60 milligrams, and then read the label and saw that there's 60 milligram tablets, I would have known right away it's just 1 tablet. But I wanted to go through all these steps to show you how important it is to carry the units and to make sure the units work out, and also how you can do conversions using these conversion factors to go between milligrams and grams, and you can do the same thing for milliliters and liters and units and milliunits, and you're going to have some questions later on where some of the conversions, especially between units and milliunits and liters and milliliters, are quite complicated. And if you just do it like this, it's much easier to keep track of them and keep them all sorted out. So once again, we started out writing down our knowns and unknowns. We wrote down the formula that we're going to use. We put all of our knowns and unknowns into the formula, and then we solved for the unknown and got our answer. Okay, so that's it for that example.